Hello everyone, Loyatina here. I recently shared a video on husbands and their side chicks and children that come out of such relationships and inheritance issues. Some people came to comment. A lot of men were under the comment section. Is it only men who are supposed to die early? And is there any law that says that men should die early? No, sir, no, sirs, no, madams. It is not only men who have to die early. And of course, there is no law that says that men should die earlier than women. No. Now, one thing I want you to put it in at the back of your mind is that the laws in Ghana are not gender biased. Let me be specific. The laws of inheritance in Ghana, whether you died without making a will or you died making a will, the laws are not gender biased. This means that if you are a woman and you die early and you leave your husband behind, when the law says that the spouse is entitled to your house together with the children, or your one house together with the children, spouse here also includes a husband. So if you die early as a woman and your husband is alive, the property does not go to your family. No. It does not go back to your children only. No. If the law says, let's talk about Law 111. Law 111 is the interstate law that if you die without making a will, the law says that the surviving spouse will inherit the one house. Please take notes. If you are a man and your wife dies before you, which happens sometimes, or let me say most times, or which happens, so that you guys will not come and say I'm saying men die earlier. If this happens, you, the man, if the woman had a house, and that house is even her personal property, even if she did it before the marriage, and it is her personal property, because you are the husband, the law says you are entitled to that house together with all the children she left behind. The same way, if you are a man and your wife dies, and she makes a will, and she doesn't give you anything in that will, you can also go and say, no, my wife died, she made a will, but she didn't really give me anything before she died, and she didn't add me to the will. So court, please take something from her will and give it to me. And that is also allowed. So the women, it is not only men that will be inherited. It is not only men that have to make wills. You can also make wills and give some to your husbands, and that's allowed. And men, if the women do not make wills, or they make wills without giving you anything in their will, please, you have every right to go to the courts, go see a lawyer for help, so that you can get your share of the inheritance of the woman. And if you did not make a will, the law says that the property will be the house, the one house which was left behind, will be shared between your children and your surviving spouse. So men, if your wife dies earlier than you, which is possible, which happens, please don't sit down and say you are not entitled. No. You are entitled to a part of her property, and it's a good part. It's a big number or a big share. Now, I talked about side chicks when I was talking about husbands. For women, usually within the marriage, you may not even see that they are cheating, but it happens. Of course, the record shows that it is on a surge now. I mean, women are cheating more now in marriages. I mean, I cannot compare and say men do it more than the women or women do it more, but I'm just saying that because of scientific records now and scientific tests now, we can detect that women cheat sometimes, and that cheating may result into a child that the man may not even know of, sometimes until the death of the man or until the death of the woman, or maybe until they're about to travel and there's a DNA test. So men, please, if you have any doubt that any child you are feeding or any child you're taking care of is not your child, please go and do a DNA test. And I advise you, do it. And it is better if you do it when there are no problems. Oh, I just want to do DNA for all my children. Do it when the marriage is sweet and everything is all right. Don't do it when there are just issues. Then do it in a way that will make you like, oh, there are problems, you don't trust it. No, I think it should be part of regular testings that you do for your children. You check your DNA to be very sure. To be very sure. Yes. And I think that women should not oppose this unreasonably. Now, take note that any child you are taking care of in the household, the law calls them the children of the household. At a point of divorce or separation, sometimes you will think, oh, I'm taking care of this child is not my child, but I'm just taking care of the child. But sometimes at the point of divorce or separation, the law will talk about the children of the household. And remember that the children of the household are not only the children that you gave birth to the woman. No. Sometimes the law can bring in the child who was living under your care, who you took care of as though it was your own. So be careful who you take responsibility of and how and the extent to which you take responsibility. And now because this child may be a child born out of wedlock, your wife cheated on you, had the child maybe with another man, you may not know. At the point that the woman dies and you have to share maybe the woman's property, please, it does not matter that the child was born out of wedlock or the child does not have a father or you don't know the father. No, that child is also entitled to the woman's share or her personal property. So please take note of that. You can, however, be assured that the man who cheated with your wife or who had a baby with your wife will not be entitled to any share of the woman's property upon her death. And you can also be assured that a woman cannot marry more than one. So it means that you cannot be surprised tomorrow that, oh, you married someone properly, a woman properly, and then later on she went outside and married another person whilst you were still married. If you marry the person properly, whether under custom, whether under the Mohammedan law, whether under ordinance, it means that your wife cannot go out and marry another person. So you are a secured husband. I hope I have answered the question for the men who were under my comment section. Let me know what you think. And if you have someone who is being cheated, his wife has died and the family are misbehaving, they want to take everything from him, please tell him that he has rights as well. He can also go and see a lawyer, go to the legal aid office and get help. Thank you, and let me know what your questions are. I read your comments. Sometimes it can be overwhelming, but I'm reading them and I'll respond to some of you in due time. Thank you and have a good time. Bye.